Hello, everyone. My name is Ekaterina Kardakova. I'm an opera singer, voice, and public speaking coach. And this is my podcast, The Sound of Success. Today, I have an amazing guest, Carolyn Brandt. She's a personal growth consultant, personal brand specialist, speaker, and master class leaders. So today, again, we will talk about why it's important for everyone. Neither you are a freelancer, a business owner, or a corporate person who wants to grow your career. Why is the branding is so important for you? Hello, Carolyn. Thank you very much for coming today.
Hello, good morning, and thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here, and I think it's such a great subject, and I'm loving the podcast so far. So it's great to be part of it.
Yes. I noticed that lately more and more famous people started to pay attention on their personal branding. So they started to invest more in visibility. And my first question is why personal branding is more and more important, and where to start for those one, for all the experts who are so good in their job but don't know where to start to build their personal brand.
Yeah. So you've hit on a really important topic there because people traditionally think personal branding and marketing is only for those famous people. It's for the politicians, it's for the actors. And in fact, it isn't. It is for everybody. Whether you're working in a corporate environment, public, whether you're an entrepreneur, a leader, whether you're early in your career, mid or end of career. Why is it important? Because your personal brand is your reputation. And it's your reputation and how you show up in your professional environment. And the reason why it's important, because if you don't define your brand and who you are and what you're good at, other people will do that for you. And they can misunderstand who you are. There's also a myth that personal branding is only for the loud extroverts, for those confident people. No, personal branding is important for everybody. It's a catalyst for your own individual growth. Now, where to start, this is a really important one, is clarity. Now, not clarity on where do I want to go or where do I want to be in 5 years, but start with the initial step, clarity. Who am I? Now, people might say, I know who I am. I'm Carolyn. I'm this age. I work in this environment. No, a level deeper than that. Really go, who am I from my past, my present, and who am I in the future? And talk about it as if it's your present tense. Because your personal branding is your own overall story, your unique story, your future, as well as your today, as well as your past. And it helps you understand who you are. And once you define that and get that clarity, it helps you communicate that better to other people as well. And how you focus when you show up, how you communicate. Because if you can't clearly communicate who you are, what you're about, what value you deliver, your purpose, how can other people understand it? This is why personal branding is really important. But you know what some people do though? They jump straight into the visibility. They jump straight over that persona clarity on who I am and what's my purpose. And so it's all this fake it to make it, turning up on LinkedIn, and it's not sustainable. You really need to go through the four pillars, which is persona, purpose, positioning, and then presence and how you show up. And it isn't about what you say about yourself, but if you really clearly define your personal branding and you get clarity on who you are and your purpose, when you're not in the room, this is when people will be able to clearly think about you when opportunities come up. So you mentioned the corporate world. Imagine You are a quiet, introvert, technical leader, but you've got a personal brand and people know that you're good at technical solving problems and you're a good leader. A new project comes up and they're talking about people, about who could lead this project. That quiet, introvert, technical leader will be spoken about because she's worked on her personal brand. She's not that loud, overconfident technical leader. She is the quiet one, but she delivers value and she shows up using her personal brand. So they'll be talking about her. What about her? She would be ideal. So that's what you need to think about. My personal brand is a catalyst for opportunities and it will help people talk about me when I'm not in the room, understanding the value that I deliver.
Yeah, perfect. You said personal brand starts with a persona. 2 days ago, I had a webinar with over 150 people where I gave the exercise, tell about your strengths for your self-presentation at a job interview. And people wrote me in the comments, it's pretty hard to define what are my strengths. I don't know what I'm good at. And you say, we have to start with a persona when we want to show ourselves not in terms of being loud, but being professional. Maybe could you define better how to find this purpose, how to start with the persona, how to position yourself?
You've touched on a really important point then. People, especially women, we find it very difficult to talk about our own strengths because we're nurtured. Oh, people don't like arrogance. People don't like big-headed people. And one tip that I say before I move on to the purpose part is if you find it difficult talking about what I'm good at and my strengths, use the third party. So, for instance, I would be Carolyn is energetic, passionate, and helps other people grow. Now, I've worked on my personal brand, so I can talk the I am this way. But to get you to that point, use the third person. So when you're preparing for a promotion or an interview, prepare in the third person and then build up your confidence to say, here's my strengths, this is what I can do. And the other thing is, before I move on to the purpose, it was because it's a really important point, is you can go and ask other people to say, when you talk about me, when I'm not there, what are the three top strengths that come into your mind when you hear my name in the professional environment? And then use that list with your list, and there you have it to go and show up at your interviews, promotions, and meetings. But let's come back to the purpose. What is purpose? Purpose is what drives you. It's the motor. It's the fuel that you put in your motor. It's what makes you get up in the morning and be totally energized with everything you do. But the thing is, it's your unique value. It's the value you bring to the table. But how do you identify what your purpose is? Well, you've looked at who you are. You've got that clarity. Now, I might sneeze in a minute. Let's see if I can hold that off. So we can see this is a really authentic recording because I might sneeze. But clarity is your unique value. And how do you do that? What do you bring to the table that other people don't? What do you have that makes you stand out? So, for example, why should people work with you on their voice, their command, their confidence, their speaking? Because what you bring to the table is your opera training, your hands-on experience, and nobody can do that other than you. When people want to work with me, they look at my 25 years of corporate experience as a woman in a dominant male environment. So I've been the only woman in the room. Now, people who go and, so for example, other coaches, they may have the methodologies, the theory, the accreditation, but have they got your expertise or my expertise? No. So I don't have your expertise, but we're unique in our each other's, in our own unique way. So that's where you get clarity on your purpose. Okay? Now, aligning your message with what you do and how you do it. I have a purpose statement which I use in a lot of my workshops, and I'm going to give you this purpose statement so the listeners can fill it in. So here's my purpose statement. I am driven to impact. What impact do you do? And you can use this in the corporate world. By my passion, my skill, my expertise. What do you do to deliver that impact? And who do you do it for? So, my purpose statement, I am driven to empower and help people grow. I use my expertise, my passion, and my knowledge, and my negotiation and business skills for women in corporate business or running their own business. And everybody could use that. Now, you might not get it straight away, but if you use that framework and you play around with those strengths that you mentioned, you will get clarity on your purpose. What value, what strengths, what do you bring to the table that delivers impact in your own unique way? From there, then you can start to position yourself to demonstrate that purpose.
Yeah. And how to position? Can you give some tips?
Yes, certainly. Now, I'm going to start the tip with another statement that you can use. And you can use this to help. You can use it in your LinkedIn. You can use it with your own motto every day. You can use it in interviews. You can use it all the time. I help who achieve what by how. That's the transformation. Help women achieve their goals by using my personal branding 4P methodology. And you could do the same with yours as well. What you do is the transformation that you help other people achieve by how with what you do. So for example, in the corporate world, if you are a financial expert, I help businesses achieve sustainable bottom line through my financial expertise. It's as simple as that. And you don't control the narrative with positioning. What you do is you show up and you let the world in your professional environment decide, are you positioning yourself correctly? But to do that, you need to have a clear positioning statement underpinned. Well, because positioning is not just writing it down. Positioning yourself is how you show up in all interactions.
Mhm. We had some short internet issues. I'm sorry.
I saw that.
Yeah, but still the idea is clear. You know what I see or what I notice? That, for example, on LinkedIn, people write, you say you have to position yourself clear. based on your purpose, based on your persona, your strengths, and what you like to do. Sorry. But what I see, for example, on LinkedIn, people always overload with information. Actually, it should
Yes.
be very clear. I do this, I help with that. But people usually write, for example, I am a marketeer with 15 plus experience. I can do this. And when I read, for example, when I'm looking for experts whom I would like to invite for my podcast, I get lost. Okay, in what are you exactly specializing in? These, that. I get lost. And could you please maybe give some tips how to decide if, for example, a person likes many things, how to position correctly and clear, uh, how to do this clear? Because I think this clarity, people struggle with clarity, especially if you're multitasking and you do lots of things also at your job and you love lots of things. How to be clear in this positioning so people understand that you're a specialist in something specific, not in everything.
Yeah, you're so right. People turn up and say, I do all of this. They feel like they need to put their whole CV and expertise into that one profile. I did the same. Seeking clarity and nailing it down and niching down in your expertise and how you want to show up, you need to do that. You can do it step by step until you find that clarity, until you find that niche. Okay. So my niche is that I could help everybody, all genders. My niche and my passion and what energizes me and makes me shine and gives me my inner power is when I help women. So I want to show up as a person who empowers women. That's how I show up. If you want to show up as a transformational leader, forget that you are a project manager, you're a change management, you do all of that. Focus on, they're the extra bits, they're the ribbon on the present. But the key is, what's the wrapping of that present? The wrapping of that present is, I am a transformational leader. So that's how you show up with that transformational leadership thought mindset. Who do you help? How do you help them? And what do they get out of it? So that sentence that I've given you, I help who achieve what by how I do that, that helps you get clarity. And you might not get it the first time. Now, it doesn't mean everything else you do is null and void. No, but these are the extra bits. If you go in to buy a product, right, it will have the key unique selling points on the product, whether it's something, a luxury good, or whether you're buying a new laptop, it will have the key thing. And then when you go underneath, you've got all the little points, plus this, plus this, plus this, plus this. It's the same for us. What's that key label on your packaging? And then when they open up the packaging, they say, yeah, and I've got these items as well, which help me be great in delivering that.
Mm.
And that's whether you are working in the corporate world, whether you're a consultant or a coach, or whether you are an entrepreneur, or whether you are a founder, whether you're in tech, whether you're in finance, it's the same principles. Whether you're young, mid, or senior in your professional life, it's exactly the same principles.
But could you give some ideas to people who are working or would like to get a job in corporate world? For example, a person is an IT developer or a UX designer and is working for some company or for an agency. How to position how can they position themselves better if they have a job in some specific fields but are open, for example, for new, better opportunities? How to position?
Right. Yeah. Again, it's the same it's the same structure. What do you do? How do you do it? And what do you help? And what would you help that company achieve?
Yeah.
So I gave you the financial experience, right? So I don't just do accounts. I don't just do your accounting. I will help you improve your bottom line by using my financial experience. So I worked with a financial accountant who, a female, and wanted to get promotion. And she didn't, she was like, well, yeah, I do my job well. Look, I'm always delivering on time. And yeah, I said, but everybody does that. How can you stand out? Why would they want to give you this financial executive position compared to somebody else? And she thought about it and she said, well, actually, I've got all these expertise working in the supply chain. And what I did from my financial knowledge is I identified cost savings for the supply chain strategy. So I was like, there you go. That's what you do. You help companies reduce cost, increase their bottom line using your strategic and financial expertise. And then in an interview, you then substantiate that by giving them a real life example of how you did it with that supply chain, working with a supply chain strategist expert, and you brought in the financial expertise plus your strategic mindset. So, a website developer. I've recently worked with one and I interviewed two or three that were doing my website. And I went with one because they didn't just come and turn up and tell me, this is my 15 years experience. This is what I can do. Those are my profiles. They actually asked me questions. What do you want to achieve? How do you want to achieve it? And then they came with strategic inputs on how they could actually take my ideas and make it better. And I was like, I don't need to talk to anybody else. You've got the job because you've shown me your expertise and how you can deliver value because I'm not a website developer, but I want a great website. So if you think like that when you're going to interviews, what can I, how can I demonstrate the impact and value that I bring to the role that I'm going to be applying for? Not, I've got 15 years experience and a master's in engineering and I've delivered 10 UX projects for all these different companies. No. Why are you better at that UX experience compared to other people?
Yeah, yeah. At my webinar, I actually gave the formula. Tell me about yourself, answering three, only three questions based on your strengths, your key achievements, and how you can contribute to the company.
Yes, it's good, but then go that level further and think about how you can communicate that it stands out more than somebody else who uses that same formula.
Yes,
Like I said, 15 years experience. I've worked on these projects. I've delivered these amount of UX experiences for these companies. Great. You sound like the other people. What was different about some of those UX projects that you delivered?
yes. And then we come to the presence. Basically, if you really answers and did all these steps, who you are as a persona, what is your purpose, how you position yourself, and here's my part, how you present yourself. And of course, most people have the fears of telling about themselves. As you said before, telling about it, what I'm good at. Yeah, right? So they're so afraid. But if you have done all these steps, and you have the clarity in your head, you have clarity on your positioning and your purpose, 50% of your fears, they immediately just, go away. And then you can clearly communicate. Even if you are an extrovert, you cannot speak loud in front of the audience. Nowadays, we have lots of opportunities to write, to make recordings, videos, podcasts, where you can share your unique knowledge. And I think it's
Yeah.
also important to explain to people everyone is unique. We don't have competition. I personally don't believe in competition. I do believe that everyone is unique and everyone delivers unique knowledge, unique experience, unique of everything. So showing your uniqueness in a confident way and telling to other people how good you are and what you have already achieved, right? This what makes you different. This what makes you, yeah.
Stand out,
Yes.
shine. And you're totally correct, because people, we hold back because at a young age, um, we may have been nurtured. Oh, people don't like loud, big mouths. People don't like people say, "Hey, look how great I am." You don't need to have a strong personal brand and present it. You don't need to be the first one to walk in a room and go, "Let me tell you how great I am." Have you ever been in a room where somebody has a strong presence, but they haven't even spoken? That's a personal brand. So you're right. It's not just, it's how you walk into the room, not just physically, mentally, and your overall inner and outer confidence. How you physically and mentally take your space and own your space. And it's a myth. It's not just for extroverts, it's also for introverts. So your body, your voice, how you enter into a virtual or an in-person or even written space demonstrates your presence. So body language, open, confident, think about your posture. Think about how you walk in. If I was sat here now and I was like at my shoulder a bit forward and I look like this, and I could be sounding really confident, but do I look confident? No. Sit back, I automatically look more confident because of the way I'm sitting. And I feel more comfortable sitting like this. So it's about you being authentic and comfortable in yourself. But also, when you talk, it's not just what you say, and you know this better than anybody, it's how you say it. It's how you portray it. So some tips I give to people when I'm helping them on their presentation or getting ready for an interview is slow down. Because if you walk into an interview or to do a presentation and you talk at your normal speed and you get a bit nervous, then you might go a little bit faster and you sound like this. People can't catch up with you and you sound nervous, and then they might not think, is this credible? If I go in and I talk slower, I sound more intentional. People have time to listen to what I'm saying. I have time to think. So I'm not doing the oh yeah, I take pauses. And then if I do speed up, I get to my normal voice speed. So I still sound confident. So you've got your voice, which that's your area of expertise. As I said, you should always go to the expert and don't go to somebody who's not the expert. But those are my personal tips. The body language. And if you think of this is who I am, I'm an expert. I know what I'm doing. I deliver value. I can help people, and stop judging yourself, and you show up believing in yourself, you'll automatically show up with presence. And I don't just mean on those special moments. I mean in every single interaction. I show up no differently when I go to the supermarket, if I go to the gym, or if I go and meet somebody for coffee, or if I walk into a boardroom. I show up the same. I might be wearing gym clothes versus a suit, but me, I am the same person.
Thank you so much. It was so interesting to talk to you. And thanks a lot for all these steps and clarity, how people can build their brand and why. Thanks a lot. And yeah, see you next time. Hopefully, maybe we will do another recording if we will like it. Let us in the comments below under this video how you like it. You may also, if you have some questions, please write. I will send all these questions to Carolyn to answer, or maybe we will do another recording. Thank you so much for coming. It was so interesting to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Ekaterina, for inviting me. And it's like you've said to everybody, questions, but there's one thing is I'd invite everybody to do small nano step actions to start looking at their personal brand and seeking clarity. Because if you keep thinking about it, while you're thinking about it, everybody else is defining what your personal brand is, and you're losing out on potential opportunities in being misunderstood. So
Absolutely.
thank you. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for the invite.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.